Namaskar. A sutra we often see in Charaka Samhita, Satatadhyanam Vadaha Paratantravalokanam. So, we are going to discuss this topic, Paratantravalokanam, that is said to be Buddhimedakaro Ganaha. Buddhimedakaro Ganaha Gunaha. So, Paratantravalokan is said to be an activity which helps you to have buddhi and medha. Now, with reference to Ayurvedic students, practitioners, we will see what is Paratantravalokan. We will see some examples and we will see how it helps to better understand our classics. We will go with some examples, but there are some prerequisites. Para is some other external domain, we can say, and Tantra we know is text. Let me take some liberty to say Para is Shrestha or praised, and Para is also close one. So the Tantra we are going to see has to have some point of agreement with Ayurveda. That is, the domains which don't have any basic agreemental points with Ayurvedic principles do not come under this Paratantravalokanam. Just to name, if you go for physics, the current physics or chemistry, and try to apply their logic to Ayurveda, it may not be applied because the current physics and we, Ayurveda, we don't have some common agreement points at the philosophical level. So, what are the tantras what we can follow? The ancient philosophies, that is Darshana, and allied philosophies or knowledge systems like Vriksha Ayurveda, Pashu Ayurveda, etc. They are the tantras what we can rely on, or what should the tantras we can look out for, because they have some common agreement points with Ayurveda. They have some common principles with us. So we can have some interaction. So this is basic prerequisite. Another prerequisite is that Tantra, that text should have ample praise in that particular knowledge system. Like Kama Sutra, it has been praised since years when it comes to the typical sensual activities or sexual activities or that domain. Likewise, the Tantra should be the praised one in that particular domain. Say for Mimamsa, Shavar Bhashya. Say for Vedanta, Vedanta Sar could be praised one, Panchadashi could be praised one, Shankar Bhashya of Vedanta could be praised one, Sankhya Yoga Karika is the praised one for Sankhya philosophy. So these are the text or Tantra what we can have a lookout, that is Avalokan. So these are the basic prerequisites of Tantra. Another is that Tantra should be praised one thing, and another is Charaka Samhita gives certain qualities of a good Tantra. You can see the shlok, and that particular Tantra in that particular domain should suffice all these so said qualities. So these are the prerequisites for Tantra, what we should be having an avalokan. Now we will have some examples. I will start with one example, and in following lectures we will be having some more examples. So today's example is from Madhav Nidan. The Madhav Nidan Tikakar says, Seti kartavyata ko rogotpadako hetur nidanam. I'll repeat. Seti kartavyata ko rogotpadako hetur nidanam. Now, iti kartavyata, when it comes to Indian context, current Indian context, say in Maharashtra, iti kartavyata is said to be the final end. We can say half jokingly, lifetime achievement award is iti kartavyata. The word is more used in positive sense in Maharashtra. They say ki जीवनाची इति कर्तव्यता झाली. That is, he has done all his duties, he has performed all his duties very well, and he has sacrificed a lot for his family, for his community, for his nation and all that. And thus, he has at a point where he has nothing more to do. So we call it as iti kartavyata. That is the end point of his life. That's why I jokingly said lifetime achievement award point. But it's okay when we use it in colloquial sense. It's okay, no problem. But when it comes to Ayurveda, we have to refer the Mimamsa for this to better understand the iti kartavyata term. The iti kartavyata terminology comes from Mimamsa. The Mimamsaks say, I'm not going to the details of what is bhavana, shabdi bhavana, arthi bhavana. It is not necessary in this context also. But in short, the iti kartavyata is the process between the starting point and the end point. In Mimamsak terms, it is the travelogue between the sadhana, that is tool, and the sadhya, that is the target. So it is a travelogue between the tool till it reaches its target. So iti kartavyata is the journey beginning from the starting point until the end point, or whatever the desired end point is. This is in short the concept of iti kartavyata in Mimamsa. Now we will see what it indicates through the definition Seti kartavyata ko rogotpadako hetur nidanam. Let us take an example. Say dadhi. Dadhi, when consumed, unfollowing the proper indications and protocols of Dadhi Sevan, it starts a momentum. It starts a momentum. It leads to something, then it leads to something, then it leads to something, and finally it reaches to the Shodh. Likewise, let us take an example through our daily life. I have to cook rice. Say I have to cook biryani or khichdi, whatever, dal khichda, maybe, whatever. So what I do is, I select a nice rice, maybe basmati, maybe kolam, or whatever. I take ample quantity, whatever is needed. I wash it. Then I put it in proper utensil, which is already cleaned. Then I add water into ample water, proper appropriate water. Then I take cooker. I add water into that. I put a small stand. I put that utensil in that cooker. I may cover it, may not cover it. Then I cover up the lid of the cooker. Then I put it on the gas burner, start the gas, let it whistle appropriate times. Then I switch off. Then let it, what we call sangashit, like till the vapor entirely goes out. Then I remove the lid, and whatever my desired biryani or khichdi, it is now ready in the utensil. I take it out, and now it is ready for me to eat. So the starting point is taking a rice, and the desired point is having khichdi or biryani or pulao on my table. This journey is iti kartavya. Now we will revisit my dadi example. Dadi consumed without any proper protocol. That is, na kamdari bunjita, na japya agrata sharkara, etc. Such dadi consumed starts some momentum. It could be a cascading effect, or it could be a momentum. It gives rise to some momentum. The momentum catches and progresses on the time and space framework, that is we call Shatkriya. The momentum started by improper consumption of dadi along the time and space progression gives rise to something called shotha. Something called shotha. So the starting point is improper consumption of dadi, and the not desired, undesired effect is shotha. How did it started? The patient consumed improper quantum, improperly, not following the rules of the Sevan, and it started a momentum. That momentum progressed on the time axis and space axis, and it gave rise to shotha all over the body, or say mukha shotha, hasta shotha, patha shotha, whatever. The desired, undesired effect. So this process between the consumption of dadi, it is starting point, and the end point is observation of shotha, is called as iti kartavyata. So what is nidana? The entity which is there and which starts the momentum, which gives ultimately rise to the undesired effect of disease or lakshana, is called nidana. I'll tell you again. The entity which gives rise to a momentum which progresses along the time and space line in the body and gives rise, ultimate rise to, it may have cascading effect or some push effect or pull effect or many effects at a certain time. But it gives rise to a shotha. It could be sarvanga shotha, ekanga shotha, whatever. So the entity which gives rise, which starts a momentum, progresses along the time and space line and gives rise to certain effect undesired for the health is nidana. So what we call Sanshepata Nidana Parivarjanam, Sanshepata Kriya Yoga Nidana Parivarjanam. So this is the avoidance of the momentum. So what you should avoid is, you should avoid the tipping point which is a tipping point for the beginning of momentum. So Granthakar expect you to avoid the tipping point which gives ultimately the desired undesired effect of ill health, that is to be avoided. And that is certain typical, it is so subtle, the tipping point is so subtle that you must avoid it at particular time. So this is for now. So today what we saw, Seti Kartavyata ko Rogatpada ko Hetur Nidanam. I have seen many Vaidyas misinterpreting it. I don't blame them because they are ignorant of the concept of Mimamsa, Iti Kartavyata. And so many learned Vaidyas have misinterpreted the line. I think this Paratantravalokanam really becomes Buddhi Meda Karo Ganaha for us. So today we saw Seti Kartavyata ko Rogatpada ko Hetur Nidanam. We saw the concept Iti Kartavyata, which is concept of Mimamsa, and how it helps us to understand the definition of Nidan according to Madhav Nidan, it is Roga Vinishya Grantha. Thank you. I'll come up with some other examples soon. We will have some more examples to better understand the concept of Paratantravalokanam in coming future. Thank you again.